Bloody Mary Podcast.
Welcome to the Bloody Mary Podcast, where we talk about all things horror while drinking a Bloody Mary. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tami, and we are totally married. We got our Bloody Marys, and tonight we are reviewing 28 Years Later.
Yeah, we're a few weeks late to the thing. It took us a minute to see it in the theater, but here we are. We're doing our review. But before we get into it, we have merch.
Yeah, we do.
Go to www.bloodymarypodcast.com. On top of merch, we have an Amazon wish list where you could help support us in the podcast with small stuff, big stuff, whatever. If you don't want to spend money, the most important thing right now is to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. So like it, and
like it, love it, share it.
Subscribe. 28 years later, it took us, I think 28 Days Later came out in 2003. And it was like that movie was kind of special. It was a special moment for me because I had moved to Spokane about a year before that movie came out. Mm-hmm. And I was like struggling with whether I should stay here or not and stuff like that. And it was I saw 28 Days Later a time in my life where I was like getting my shit together, mm-hmm. and I felt free in some respects. So, and then I went and I saw that movie in the theater by myself, and it was just groundbreaking for a zombie film. Mm-hmm. And also it was one of the very few digitally shot films that actually looked good.
Right.
Like so many from the early 2000s that, we've talked on this podcast look god awful. But this is one where they took full advantage of like shooting on digital instead of film, and I think it worked really well. Mm-hmm. So I have a great fondness for it. It's not one of my favorite movies of all time, but I thought it was really well done. The sequel was okay, but it didn't come close to it. So I was pretty excited. I think 28 Years Later had like a really cool trailer that didn't give away the plot, mm-hmm. I thought. And yeah, well, we just saw it in the theater. We haven't talked about it. That was my little spiel about my relationship with the franchise. And did you see the movie for the first time with me going back to 28 Days Later? So
yes, I did.
You're not in the horror realm.
I'm not a zombie fan. I mean, I watch them. Mm-hmm. They're fun. They're anxiety inducing. I just think that could happen closer to now, and I just don't like it. It gives me a lot of anxiety. It
could happen closer to now. Expand on that.
That shit could happen now.
Well, so could serial killers and all the other movies you watch. That's more real.
I know, but I just think a disease type thing freaks me out more.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, as opposed to some serial killer like Knife Happy.
Okay. Because
I feel like I can fight that. And have a chance to survive.
I understand.
As opposed to if I get bitten and I'm not fighting fast enough, I'm fucking dead. I'm a goddamn zombie.
So you're not a fan of the zombie type films because of that feeling of like if you were in that position?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
It gives me a lot of anxiety. I have anxiety just waking up. Okay. I don't need.
This is great.
So they do
a therapy
me a lot
session here.
Oh boy, buckle up, people. It's just not my favorite because that's something that, it does take a lot to scare me. And I guess they do scare me because it is very much not like I feel like I have more of a chance with a serial killer or something like that as opposed to a disease that could just happen.
So does this mean like when you're watching these zombie films, if you're invested in your characters, that you are more afraid for them when you're watching the film?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So anyways, you watched 28 Days Later for the first time with me like a couple years ago for this podcast.
Yeah, because we were like, we're doing zombies. And I'm like, I haven't watched a lot. Shaun of the Dead, that's a great one. And you're like, what? You haven't even seen it? We're watching it.
Yeah.
So,
okay. All these years later, the director from the original comes back. The writer from the original comes back. To make this film and a sequel, they shot 2 back-to-back, potentially a third. What did you think going in and seeing this one? What'd you think?
I thought it was good. I thought it was more heartfelt than I thought it would be. I did tear up.
No. Aw.
There, I know. I started to cry a bit, and I was like, "Suck it up, woman."
Zombie
You're in
film made her
public.
cry.
Anxiety inducing, gross. Lots of swinging dicks. That's that's what I thought.
There were so many zombie dicks in
There's
this.
so many and titties too. They're just naked zombies
and they
just
didn't
running.
make them small dicks. They gave them they're like not spoiling anything. There's like alpha zombies, which you see in the trailer, and they have the biggest of all the dicks.
It's huge.
It's
yeah,
just like a soft. Their dick soft is like a foot long.
I know.
Like,
it was crazy.
That's
and it just,
nuts.
He's charging you and just swinging in there. It's fucking could smack a bitch with that just in his face. Yeah, I don't.
So you thought the movie was good?
Yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Me too. I thought it was really well done. I was always with this director. I was extremely impressed with the directing. There's beautiful shots. There's
beautiful.
crazy shots. The action was really interesting with some of the kills, and I think that's I saw a rig, like a behind the scenes thing where they rigged like, I don't know, 50 iPhones around like a zombie for those kill scenes, if I'm not mistaken. Because there's this really interesting thing with the kills that you saw, like you'd see a kill and it would like cut to a weird angle and pop like a second into the future or something. Or it was really interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. That type of, with the gore and the action. Shot really well. It was definitely more heartfelt, like you said, than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were, and the original one too, it's more of a human element, but for some reason, this one, I thought it was going to be more, it was focused. It was really focused. I liked it a lot. What I'm trying to say, it was a very simple plot. Surrounded by the chaos of the zombie world, and I like that. I thought they pulled that off really well. The plot is very simplistic.
It was very simplistic. I thought the actors did really great.
Yeah,
the lead boy, he was so good.
Yeah, and another thing, I don't know if this is a light spoiler, but not really. The star of the film isn't who I thought it was going to be.
No,
Which that you didn't get that from the trailer too, which I love. I love trailers that show you the feel of the film, but don't really give away anything. And so it was kind of like going in blind. There's like a different kind of infected zombies.
Oh, the fat crawly ones.
Don't spoil those. Come on, I gotta wait for spoilers.
Sorry guys.
So, well, she spoiled that. There's fat crawly zombies. What else do you want to spoil before we get into spoilers?
I'm so sorry.
So was there anything that didn't work for you for this movie? Was there anything that stood out? It was like,
the ending.
You can't spoil.
I know.
I don't think you can talk about the ending without spoiling it. Yeah. Sorry.
The ending was like, huh. It was a little bit of a tone shift. Tiny. Like it was very like I didn't expect that. Okay.
It
All
was.
Right.
But also, I think, Sean said this to us because he saw it before. It's like, if you go and watching this movie not knowing that there's another one coming, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this ending?
Right. You're going to be like, excuse me? That's how you end this movie?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The ending, I don't know, it without spoiling it, reminded me of, if you've seen Cabin in the Woods, Karate Pancake Kid. Just... anyways, so that's like something that kind of stood out for you. Yeah. Well, it stood out. I mean,
it wasn't bad. It was just like
it meant to stand out, I think.
I think it did too.
I think it signifies a tonal shift probably for the next one. One thing that stood out for me, and I get it as a choice, I didn't like all of the cutaways to older films and to stock footage of war. Because there's a lot of montages where they did like cutaways to just other soldiers and cutaways to other films, which I thought was really...
I thought it helped build up the tension and anxiety because you're getting flashes of war and other things, and the things you're seeing are war, and then not like
there's a lot of juxtaposition.
A lot of juxtaposition, and I think for me, it built. It was a thing that kind of built tension in the beginning when it was happening.
So that worked for you then. Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, that's personal preference then. Aside from that, I thought the movie was really good. I thought it was a good time with you. It was surprising. I liked Ralph Voldemort's.
I know.
Voldemort's part was a lot of fun. Ralph Fiennes. How do you say his name? Ralphie Boy?
Ralphie Boy.
Ralphie Boy. I like Ralphie Boy.
Formerly known as Voldemort.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think, do you need to watch the other films to see this one?
I don't think so.
I don't think you do.
I don't think you do. I think if you do, if you've seen them, then you're excited to see it, and you kind of know what is.
You understand how the zombies work in the world,
quote unquote zombies work in that world. But then again, it is 28 years later, and they have changed some too. So. I don't think you need to watch the other ones. If you've never seen them, you're not going to miss anything. Yeah. I don't think.
Yeah. We didn't stay for post-credits, so I don't know if there was anything there. I know they've talked about Cillian Murphy is going to be back in some capacity in these films.
Okay. Well, he wasn't in this one.
Yeah. But that's public knowledge by now. He's not in this one unless he was in a post-credit scene, but I don't think so. I think he's talked about wanting to be in the third, maybe the second, but I don't know. They could be saving him for a special thing. Well, what would you rate it out of 10?
I'm going to go with a 7.
A 7? Mm-hmm. Cool.
What are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with an 8 just because I really like this director's style. It was fun to see him go back to this genre and to do something like this. Mm-hmm. And the movie surprised me in a lot of ways. Wasn't the best horror film ever, but I thought it was really good. I thought I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. What did the world think?
The world thought it was a 7.1.
Oh.
So closer to.
All right. I'm with it with the world.
Yeah. I liked it a little more. All right, let's get into some spoilers because there's some fun stuff to spoil here.
There is some fun stuff.
Let's just start with the very ending. Go ahead.
Oh, the tracksuit zombie mafia.
The blonde tracksuit zombie mafia.
Tracksuit
shows up.
Zombie mafia.
Like tracksuit legit with bling.
Tracksuit, bling, karate moves. Yeah. They're fucking.
Like, what was that?
Cutting people in half. They're having fun. They're excited. They're fucking all about this. And then the leader, Jimmy, comes down in all his bling and all his rings. And he's like.
And it ends up that he was the little boy we saw in the very beginning.
In the very beginning. And he's like, hey, be my friend. Yeah. I think the tonal shift going into the next one is going to be chaotic like that.
Yeah, well, then that's too, like it said, there was spray paint on some walls that said something Jimmy, and then Jimmy was carved in one of the dead's bodies.
Right.
So that's Jimmy's gang.
I think Jimmy's not a good guy. I think he's.
But it was, I think Jimmy's a middle of the road guy.
Yeah.
I think he's a Negan.
A Negan. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I
don't think he's a piece of shit, but I don't think he's a great guy.
Yeah.
That's just what I got from that whole interaction. I think he's going to want something from the kid.
Oh, he's absolutely, they're going to want to go to the land is where that kid's from. I have a feeling. Yeah. But yes, the end of it would all of a sudden, like, he just fighting zombies, then all of a sudden blonde tracksuit zombie mafia just fucking, woo,
and that wasn't the tone of the film at all. The tone of the film was like, survivalistic almost, and you get some elements of like the military, and you see some modern technology. And I find it interesting in this that the world has gone on outside of the UK. Mm-hmm. And like, because you see this one military guy is in there for a little bit, which actually was like the funniest kind of moments when they were sitting having that back and forth.
Yeah, when he was like, what's that? It's kind of like a radio, but a phone with pictures. And have you ever seen pictures? And he's like, this is my ex-fiance. And he's like, what happened to her? Yeah. And she's got lip fillers. And he's like, what happened to her face? Is she allergic to like shellfish?
Yeah, that was really funny. Like, the whole theater laughed. But another spoiler thing was, the star of the movie is the kid. It's not Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in it, but he's not the star. The star is his son.
And the son was really good.
The son was good. I didn't expect Aaron Taylor Johnson. He wasn't a bad guy, but he was just kind of a douchey dad or had some douchey moments.
I feel like he had some douchey moments, and life is hard on an island where there's zombies.
Yeah.
And his wife is dying.
Yeah, the whole plot was it's like this dad is training the son to survive and fight zombies, and the mother is sick and is dying or something, and the boy discovers that there is someone who used to be a doctor far inland.
Yeah.
And no one told him about it, that he could cure. He just wanted to help his mom, so then he started a distraction and then got his mom out of there.
Yeah. Well, especially after he like found his dad banging another chick.
Yeah.
And after his dad lied, like, oh, he was so good. And he's like, he lied. And then there's a doctor and you're not telling me things. And then his dad hit him.
Yeah.
And then he was like, all right, I'm taking mom. We're getting the fuck out.
Which, smart. And it was more heartfelt than you think, especially when you get to like the boy and that. And when you get to Ralphie Boy Voldemort's bone castle.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
It's not like because he showed it in the trailer, right?
And it looks scary.
But then it's not.
No, it's not.
It's a memorial.
Yeah, it's a memorial
for all the dead.
Yeah.
He's doing it for people to remember to.
Yeah.
And one of the most beautiful shots I've seen in a long time, and in this film, is when they give him the morphine and he's taking his mom and they're up above and you're seeing the fire go in the circle, and it was so beautiful. That was a fucking beautiful and heartbreaking, and like I started to cry because the mom, they get to the doctor and the mom has cancer and she's gonna die. And there's nothing, it's not a zombie that's killing her, it's cancer.
Yeah.
And like just between the boy and the son, or the boy and the mom, and it was. Yeah,
that was a really good shot. It was, how fucked up is it too that you have to like carry your mom's skull on top of a pile of skulls, but also beautiful,
Yeah, and then he like watched the sunrise with her and kissed the skull, and he's like, "Love you, mom." And I was like,
well, didn't he turn like the skull so it always faced the sun?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that it could see the sunrise.
Another really beautiful shot, but it was more terrifying, was when they were running back through the water and the alpha was chasing them. But the background was so beautiful. You saw like, the night colored purple borealis and the skies, and just how that was shot was gorgeous as well, but also scary as shit.
And scary because that alpha was like hauling ass across that thing, and they're trying to.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah, and then so I thought the movie was going to go, the alpha gets in, there's infected in the village, we all have to fight him. It wasn't the story.
No.
And I thought that was really cool. I like that a lot.
It was just a boy wanting to save his mom.
Yeah, that was pretty much the story. And it was a coming of age tale too, because in the beginning he wasn't like, sure of himself when he was out there with his dad. And then he took his mom, and then he took her care of business for the most part.
Yeah.
And another new thing we got is there was a zombie that was pregnant, and the mom helped her give birth, and
the baby was fine. It wasn't infected, and
so that was part of that journey too. The mom, they're bringing this baby also to the doctor, and the baby isn't infected, so that's that we know of.
Right. Well, I was just thinking like the alpha was after them, probably just wanted the baby because it might have been his baby.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to eat the baby, probably, and everyone else. I don't know,
but he also can rip people's heads off and their spine out of their body, and that was pretty cool.
And deer, it's like it's like the alpha's calling card. Yeah, rips it off and puts it somewhere, and
not just rips off the head.
Yeah,
like the spinal cord.
Spine. Yeah, that was really cool.
Hanging off the.
Yeah.
That was fucking crazy.
This just makes me excited to see the second half, and I hope there's a third. I think this is doing pretty well at the box office. This is doing good, and Megan 2.0 is flopping, which we haven't seen yet.
Because it's Megan. I
don't know if we have to watch it for this, because from what I understand, it's not a horror film. It's an action movie.
Well, then I don't have to watch it, right?
So we'll see. We're still going to watch it.
God damn it.
So, yeah, I liked it. I think it's good. I think if you like zombie films, any kind of horror films, it's really good. And the filmmaking is fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And chaotic at times. And
Yeah, if the Oscars or anything, this needs to be nominated for Best Director and Cinematography. I think so. I think even though it's horror and horror gets a bad rap at the Oscars,
Beautiful.
and the Oscars really don't mean shit anymore. but still, if this would be one that you should nominate it, at least Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but cool. You want to talk anything else about? Let's see. Check my notes here, and I think we're good. I was surprised that Aaron Taylor Johnson wasn't the star.
Yeah,
I thought that was refreshing.
Well, and I liked when they find Ralphie boy, because they're all like, "Oh, don't go. He's weird. He's crazy, like people." But really, he's just alone, and he was taking care of the dead and memorializing them and surviving. And
well, I think there's they did like flashes to make you seem like that village that they live in isn't the best place. Yeah. They did some like cutaway imagery to make it seem like maybe they did some shit to take over that village or something like that. And they're wearing these weird masks with like arrows in their heads. There was this one like trippy scene where there was just someone standing in the classroom.
Right. And they were all just fluttering around.
What that means, or if we're going to get into more of that later.
Well, because the boy was like, I think they're all just lying.
Yeah.
I think they're all lying.
Yeah.
And the mom's like, what? He's like, I just think they're all lying. Mm-hmm. And he got the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then he made friends with the tracksuit mafia.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
That was pretty rad. It was legit like the kid from fucking Cabin Fever grown up and has a gang, and it's the Pancake Gang.
Yeah, and it's just like the music, and they're just having fun and like.
Yeah, that was cool. But anyways, have you guys seen 28 Years Later? Did you like it or not? What'd you think? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yep. Well, these aren't dead, but they will be soon.
Yeah.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.